Hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop.
Welcome. It's your man, God of Dots, back with another episode of the Audible Daily Sports Breakdown, given to you by yours truly. I hope everybody's had a good day. I know I have had to get some rest in. That's why start time got kind of pushed back. Just wanted to take me a good afternoon nap, man. Long work day. Hope everybody has been well. We're gonna kind of dive into it. We're gonna talk about last night's game. Miami unable to put away the Boston Celtics. Could Miami be in trouble? We'll talk about it. Also, update on the Ja Morant situation and some little news coming out of the NFL. Nothing too serious. Let me how you doing, Ms. Merv? Welcome as always. All right, let's kind of start with the somber news of the day. I want to start off with the Ja Morant update. If you haven't been paying attention, Ja Morant, a couple days ago, sent out some very troubling tweets. Mainly, talking about sending messages to his mother, sending a message to his father, and then the rest of his family. And it's like, people got worried, and officials in Tennessee had, went out and did a health and wellness check on him. And it was reported back that, right now he's just taking a break from social media. And I get it. It's been a very very stressful year for Ja Morant, not only for him but also his family dealing with what he's dealing with. I get it. We see social media often being a conduit and a platform in which people kind of express their innermost thoughts. It's almost become a pseudo form of therapy of sorts. It allows you to kind of get out your feelings unfiltered, your thoughts out unfiltered. A lot of times, when you look back on, what you put out on social media, you're like, I shouldn't have did that. I wasn't in the right mindset. And I can understand, Ja not being in the right mindset, considering all that he's going through and continuing going through. It's been reported that Nike has ceased sales, if I'm not mistaken, on his shoe line. So I know that's got to be frustrating. Think about a year ago at this time, he was on top of the world, possibly looked at as being the face of the future of the NBA, and in the span of a year, there's been talks and reports that the league is probably looking to suspend him for maybe half of the season, this upcoming season. So yeah, it's a lot to kind of go through, but kind of keep it a buck. A lot of this stuff has been self-inflicted, trying to portray an image and lifestyle that, you don't really have to. You're a multi-million-dollar athlete. You do not have to act like you're still on the block. I get you want to have fun, man, but, do it in moderation. I like to quote the great Jay-Z, I'm not a businessman. I am a businessman. And you have to have that kind of mindset that, everybody's watching you move. Everything will be scrutinized. Why put yourself in situations that can affect, at the end of the day, your bottom line? Damn the public image, but affect your bottom line. You're about to start a extension on the contract that you lost out on $39 million because you didn't make an all NBA team, even though, if we look at your numbers this past season, you deserve to be on one of those all NBA teams, but you cost yourself $39 million by not being named on one of them. So it's like I said, it's a lot going on with Ja. As Gator Girls say, prayers up for Ja Morant. Yeah. he definitely needs to stay off social media for a while. And I agree with that. People underestimate the effects of too much social media consumption. I heard a story. Like when I was cruising through social media last week, I thought it was kind of funny, but it was kind of sad at the same time. Um, a young couple went out to the young lady in the relationship. She had lost her mother last year around that time, and she went out to go visit the grave. It's those who have lost loved ones have tend to do on the anniversary of their death or birthday or Mother's Day, how depending on the relative. But you go out to show respect to the departed, and her significant other, while she was there, dealing with processing that her mother's been gone for a year. This clown, and I'm gonna call him a clown because that's what he was, is behind her, off to the side, doing damn TikTok videos. So, I mean, social media is a motherfucker. But yeah, I think Ja need to stay off social media. I think Ja needs to take this time off, especially this off season, man, and reevaluate your circle. Because obviously, your circle ain't protecting you from you sometimes. Excuse me, I had to give me a sip of water. But yeah, we'll keep tabs on the Ja Morant situation. This off season, like I said, it's going to be a very trying off season. I think a culture change is coming to Memphis. It's already been reported Dylan Brooks will not be invited back into the fold. I expect to see some more changes as far as like changing the culture around Memphis. There's nothing wrong with being a fun team and yada yada yada, but business still got to get handled on the court. Have fun. Once you won something. But anyway, kind of want to get into last night's game. Boston was able to survive last night. Very good win, very big win. Saved their season and now down 3-1 in the series. Miami loses at home. Those that watched the game, I mean, that's a typical. I'm not surprised that Boston came out with a little fire. I thought Miami would have came out a little bit more aggressive, trying to really put these boys away because you don't want to give a team hope. Yeah, they're down 3-0, but you want to act like you're the one down 3-0. You kind of saw that with the Lakers and the Nuggets. The Nuggets could have folded, considering the first half that the Lakers had in game 4, but came out with the mindset, we want to get these guys out of here. We do not want to give these guys hope. Why put more pressure on yourself? Why add more wear and tear on your body by adding additional games to a series when you get a chance to rest? And it's a long season. Season typically starts in October, and here we are, about to be in June. It's a long season, and anytime you get a chance to put a team away, you do it. Will Miami come and regret not putting Boston away? I don't know. I'm almost tempted to pick Boston in Game 5 tomorrow. I'm almost tempted to pick Boston in Game 5, but I'm going to see how the first half kind of plays out. Boston is not been the best at home. Miami's already shown we can go up here and beat you. So Miami does have that confidence knowing we can win in Boston. Boston, like I said, Boston has been mediocre at home. I'm not doing not just during the regular season, but also during this postseason. Only question I would have for Boston: can you expect the same performance out of Jason Tatum come Game 5? Jason Tatum has not had the best series, and quite frankly, Jason Tatum has not had the best playoffs outside of some very key games. Some key games. I did have a big game, Game 7 against Philly, but outside of that, Jason Tatum has not been the most consistent Celtic out on the floor. I expect Jaylen Brown to play a little bit better than he did in Game 4, but Jason Tatum is kind of, for lack of a better term, is what make the engine go in Boston. They go as far as he go, and um, you know, game 4 was a virtuoso performance as far as the way he was shooting the ball, the way he was going to the rim, attacking, and the mindset that he had. He's going to need that for them to win this series, not just win Game 5, but they're going to need that kind of mindset for him to come out there, be aggressive, play like a quote unquote number one superstar player is supposed to play at this time of year. I don't know, but Jason Tatum. I don't know. I don't have much confidence that he can maintain that for 4 straight games against a very good Miami team. I think people are really starting to come around and see how good Miami really, really is. Comes down to good coaching. Guys know their roles. Guys are good at their roles. Miami, Miami can kind of hang their hat on. Hey, we had a bad shooting game. When you look at the percentages and what they had been shooting throughout the playoffs, they had a bad shooting game. Miami knows they're not unbeatable. They've lost games this postseason. But I think that was a very big missed opportunity. You cannot, and if I'm Miami, you have to come out with the mindset that you're the one down 3-1 in game 5. Because you come out with the mindset that we're still up 3-1, and you lose and we're still up 3-2, all pressure shifts to you at that point. All pressure shifts to you at that point. You've already, you put yourself in a position where you've already lost 2 games. You got to go back down to Miami. Boston has shown, hey, we can win a game in Miami if we play well. And if I'm Miami, I do not want to take my chances of playing a game 7 in Boston. I do not want to take my chances playing a game 7 in Boston. I think Miami is mentally tough enough to survive going to a game 7, but you don't want to have that pressure on guys who's never been in that position. This will be the first time, if it happens, that a team has come back from down 3-0 to win a series. We've had situations where teams come back down from 3-0 to force a game 7, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Let me get into the comments here. Gator Girls, I can't believe this stupid series is going 7 games. If I'm Miami, you got to come out with the mindset of you got to have a mindset that we're the ones down 3-1. Psychologically set yourself up like that and come out, be aggressive and really take it to Boston, because Boston has shown, hey, a few punches in the mouth, we'll back up, we'll wilt to the pressure. You cannot let Boston come out, be the aggressor in game 5, because the pressure moves to you to game 6 to kind of close it out, and if you don't. I don't expect there to be no coaching changes in Miami, but there'll be a lot of questions. What happened? You got away from your game plan. They had you up 3-0. Then the pressure going to be, hey, you're 3-2 in the series, and can you close it out? All the while, Denver is kind of sitting back, loving this. Gives them a time to recover from their Western Conference run, give them a nice needed break. During this postseason run, guys kind of get healthy, get a little rest, get a little recuperated, come out energetic, getting ready for game 1 in Denver whenever that happens. And they're loving it. Drag it out. Gator Girl says Grant got him some get back on buckets. It was good to see. I like Grant Williams. I like guys like that. Guys that want to compete, don't mind talking a little trash and willing to go out there and back it up. At least Grant didn't go out like what's his name, Dylan Brooks. Go out, not rising to the challenge. But that's neither here nor there. How you doing, Ms. V? It's always a pleasure to see you in the house. Gator Girl says, speaking of coaching, Phoenix interviewing Doc. Seriously, yeah. It's been reported that Nick Nurse has been also interviewed for the Phoenix position. I think Doc Rivers is the sexier name. Not necessarily meaning he's the best coach for that situation. I don't know how well Doc would fit with a Devin and the KD. I think Nick Nurse, in my opinion, is probably the leading candidate for that position. But then again, my opinion, should have never got rid of Monty Williams. Should have kept Monty. He was a damn good coach. You just got to get some in them players. You got to do a damn heart check before stepping out on the floor. I hate to see, championship coaches, just kind of get thrown to the wind. My, guys are here, the players are not performing to the best of their abilities. Like, you can overcome bad coaching, but a coach can't overcome bad playing. Put a game plan in place and let it be what it's going to be. And, Phoenix showed, hey, they wasn't on the same accord. So they had no chance to really beat Denver unless Book and KD was able to score 35, 40 a game at the same time. So Yeah, it was a bad matchup, but there was a bad matchup for most teams. I think Denver, whether they match up against Boston or Miami, it's a bad matchup. They don't have an answer for Yo. And the way Jamal Murray has been playing this postseason, I don't think either team has a real answer um, for Jamal Murray. Now, I think defensively, I think Boston has more bodies to kind of throw at Murray. They're a little bit more athletic, a little bit more able to guard him well defensively than Miami, but Miami's a team that's built on team defense. So I'm looking forward to whoever comes out of the East. But I think Boston tomorrow, they got to come out with the mindset, hey, we've got to jump on these boys early. Do not let them linger around in the game because they know they can win here. They know they can win here, and you got to have that mindset. Um, going into game 5, your season's on the line. Let it all hang out. Had the same mindset, same attitude that you have. Jason Tatum has got to show up. Jason Tatum comes out, has another 6 for 18 performance. He's out of here. Gator Girl says, yeah, they should have kept Monty. Wish Orlando could win, but I wouldn't wish that failure hit on anybody. I think Orlando. We'll see what they. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Gator Girl, because I like some of the pieces that they have. I think they just really need, probably a little bit more of a veteran presence on the team. Some probably get some more older veterans on that team. But I like Orlando. I like the way they played this past year, even though they didn't make the playoffs. Orlando didn't go out there and lay down a lot of games. Just you good or you ain't. And Orlando wasn't a good team, but they came out and was competitive. They competed against everybody they played against. You just don't have the talent. I think if somebody can get a hold of Paulo down there in Orlando, tell him stop thinking he's the next coming of KD, shooting as bad as he did from the three. I think you can do something with Orlando, and especially when we're talking about the Eastern Conference, because Brooklyn may take a step back. Depending on what happens in Milwaukee, they may come back to the pack a little bit. We don't know what Philadelphia is going to look like. Coming up, Atlanta might be making changes. What's going to happen with Chicago? I mean, Toronto could fall back to the pack. Now that Nick Nurse is not their coach. So from Orlando, if I could get Monty Williams, I would. I think he's the right kind of coach for that team. They play hard. They play hard. They just suck. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. They just suck, but they play hard. They was a very competitive team. Record be damn. You do have some pieces to work with. Some draft picks, and I think Orlando could be not necessarily a marquee free agent destination, considering that they haven't won and God knows when. Probably since the Dwight Howard days back in like early 2010s. But I think you can entice some mid-level type players to come down to Orlando, especially if they kind of, get the culture right. Like I said, I like some of the pieces Orlando has. Could be able to compete next year in the East. We'll see how the offseason kind of goes, free agency kind of goes. Good take, you're getting better. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching the games, Gator Girls. I'm watching the game. I watch everybody. I think Detroit, if they can get healthy, I like some of the pieces that they have. I mean, the East is, for the most part, it's no clear cut dominant team. I think with the NBA now, especially with the new CBA coming into effect, you're going to see a lot more parity as far as guys are not going to be able to stack up super teams like they have done over the past 10, 15 years. Like with the new CBA coming into effect, teams are really going to, especially this coming off season, going to really have to make some hard decisions on how they move forward with the pieces that they have. You might see a shakeup in Golden State. Jordan Poole, it's been reported he may be on the move. In an effort to kind of save some cap space. So that's water good. If Denver wins, do you see them becoming a dynasty? I don't know about dynasty. I have to kind of like look at how the team is kind of situated as far as like we're talking about contracts. I would have to see that. I would have to see that. Now, I don't know if I would say dynasty because as well as Denver has looked during this postseason. I mean, at points this season, they didn't look like a quote unquote dynasty team. I mean, they've had rough patches. I think if Memphis was able to be more business-like and take stuff a little bit more serious and try to have the problems they had, Memphis could have been the number one seed um, going into the postseason. We'll see what Phoenix looks like with a full year up under their belt going into next year. I mean, so I wouldn't say dynasty. Denver looks good for the foreseeable future as long as you keep Murray and Yoke upright. I think you're able to put pieces around it. But eventually, you know, as it is with all NBA teams, off season comes, you got to make some financial decisions, both as a player and as an organization. So I would have to kind of like look at the contracts or what's going on in Denver, because Denver wins. Some guys are going to want to get paid. They're going to want to get paid handsomely, and sometimes it doesn't happen like that. Guys have to go elsewhere to get their paper. And like I said, the new CBA is going to really shake up the NBA. Like I said, I think they're going toward more of a parity type thing, kind of like what you see in the NFL. The NFL, ever since they put in like the hard salary cap, everybody has the same playing board to kind of work with. Teams will have to really invest in, scouting out real talent and how it fits into their team, into their culture. So I don't know about dynasty, but I can see Denver, being a favorite in the West come the next couple of years, as long as Murray and Yoke stay upright. You always have to kind of worry. Murray does have an injury history. At some point in time, Yoke game is going to start going on a downward spiral, and you got pieces around. Is Aaron Gordon going to keep getting better? Will KCP stay in the fold? So you have to kind of like look at those things with Denver. And a lot of teams are going to be having to make some real decisions come this offseason. I think I like the new CBA rules, how it's coming in. Is it stop teams from just stockpiling talent and working around with, which is a very soft cap. I'm looking at you, Golden State, just paying the luxury tax. Even with the Clippers, they're going to have to be, really making some decisions with their future coming soon, by the moving to a brand new arena. Can you really depend on Kawhi and PG to give you a full season of work? I don't expect 82 games, but can you at least get 65 from them during the regular season? I don't know. History has shown that you can't. They're both injury prone, and this is what it is. So, but Denver is probably best set up for long term success. Like I said, as long as Yoke and Murray kind of stay upright, if they can stay healthy and stay upright, I do think they have a opportunity to win multiple championships. And I don't know about dynasty. Like I said, I don't know about dynasty. I expect the West to be a little different next year. Like I said, if Memphis had had their head on straight and been really focused on taking care of business at one point of the season, Memphis was the number one seed out in the West. So we'll see what they look like. What kind of mindset Ja is in for this upcoming season? How many games does he miss? So we'll see. I'm not going to jump out on a limb and call Denver a dynasty. Not yet. Not yet. For me, and this is for me. For me to say dynasty, you got to win at least 3. To kind of qualify for quote unquote dynasty. You've had teams that have won, back to back. Like the Pistons, Rockets. I wouldn't consider those dynasties. I think those were very good organizations during that time period, but I wouldn't say dynasty. I say dynasty. The Lakers 3-peat back in the 2000s, like about the Bulls, Celtics, Lakers from the 80s. Those are like dynasty type teams. So that's just my definition of dynasty. If Denver wins and they make it back next year and win again, I mean, we can start having that conversation. But not yet. Not yet. What I wanted to get into NFL news. It's also been reported. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago as far as like the quarterback situation, as far as quarterbacks and these contracts. KC is looking at restructuring once again Patrick Mahomes' contract in an attempt to probably make him the highest paid player. But Patrick Mahomes has come out recently, said he's not really focused on the dollar amount. He's more focused on the legacy. And for me, that's code for I'm willing to kind of take the Tom Brady approach to a degree, to where I take less money, which will allow the team to keep more talent around me. And in some situations, I think that works for certain players. I don't think that works for the majority of the players. Hey man, if you can get your paper, get your paper. But I think Patrick Mahomes right now, he's kind of looking at legacy. He's about winning Super Bowls and being competitive for playoff runs, competing for Super Bowls. So I think he's looking or leaning towards that Tom Brady approach, where he'll take a slightly less money on that he would get on the market to keep talent around him. It's going to really come down to ownership in KC, really kind of keeping the pieces around him to where he can have that nice extended run. Because as long as Patrick Mahomes is upright and he has suitable enough talent, he's going to be competitive out there in the AFC. He's going to be competitive for Super Bowls. So I see that working for him. Also been reported Joe Burrow's kind of taking that approach. I mean, because quarterbacks are going to get paid way more than the average player anyway. It's not even close. They stand to earn more for a longer period of time than most players. Considering how well they're protected, how much you can't even breathe on these guys now. So it's no small wonder when you see guys at quarterback position playing late 30s, early 40s. I don't know what Brady was, 45, 46 when he retired. Aaron Rodgers is in his 40s. So quarterback, you have, a better opportunity to make more money long term than the average player anyway. So if it means taking a little less while you in a window, what I consider a championship window, and that's what Kansas City is in. Kansas City is in the championship window right now, as long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. Take a little less money, be able to keep a little bit more talent around him. So, and I don't begrudge them, but a lot of players are not in that position. Hey, I got to get paid. I got to get paid now. You mess around and I don't blame. Here's a little cowboy talk. I don't blame Zeke, for getting the money when he had a chance to get the money, because this is a business at the end of the day. These teams will cut you. So, maximize your earning potential while you can. But quarterback is a little bit different position. It's a little bit different position. Them guys getting, $200 million contracts, 180, 170 guaranteed. A lot of players are not in position to earn that kind of money throughout the course of their career, let alone off a 4 or 5 year contract. So, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, really going to start getting to the NFL once the NBA season kind of wraps up. So really start doing that. I'm gonna be looking at, getting more news out there of what's going on in these OTAs and preseason camps that teams are having. I don't take too much stock into reports that are coming out, because they'll tell you Will Levis is lighting it up in camp, or lighting it up in OTAs. I mean, what I expect? You're not going to tell me the guy is missing throws. You're not going to tell, you're not going to put out there to the public that the guy is inaccurate, because you draft him, so you want the reports to come out to be positive. But we're gonna start getting to that more come probably towards the end of June, early July. We're kind of getting to that. But if nothing else, like I said, it's no game tonight. Boo-hoo. It would have been a game if my Lakers would have won, but they didn't. So it's no game tonight. I might check in on a little hockey, and probably tomorrow kind of get more into big news coming out of Boston. Bud Crawford, aka Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence is officially going down July 29th. Probably the biggest fight of the year. If you thought Tank and Garcia did numbers, Bud and Spence is going to do crazy numbers. But we'll kind of get into that probably tomorrow's episode. I'll have some more news on that. If nothing else, like I said, I don't have an outro. Thank everybody for coming out. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Thank you for supporting those that do watch. Hey, I appreciate it. Still don't have an outro, but I'm out.